Hare Krishna. We are reading from Transcendental Diary first. Hare Sorry, Prabhu. The acceptance of sannyas has become so popular recently that even some of the ladies are asking about it. Aditya Dasi sent an inquiry from Bombay. She's writing, I'm writing this letter on behalf of myself, as well as the other women in our society. Sometimes the question has come up, but no one seems to know the real answer about sannyasinis. I know that sannyas is the highest order of spiritual life. Therefore, is it not possible that we can be eligible? Myself, I do not feel like a woman, although I am in this body. Hare Krishna. But this is a genuine question. I mean, it's not like... because Prabhupada brought Krishna consciousness, in many letters Prabhupada said, both men and women can preach. I want all my boys and girls, to preach Krishna consciousness. So he never discriminated in this way. He didn't say women should stay at home and only men should preach. So this is a genuine question that she's asking. We feel also we are not on a bodily platform. Could we also take sannyas? And the reason is that not they, of course, the ulterior reason also could be to improve one's status in the society, but also they want to actually make progress. At that time, in Prabhupada's time, the devotees really wanted to make progress in spiritual life. They wanted to go back to Godhead. Nowadays, this trend is a little bit not so much strictly that we want to go back to God, but more like we want to somehow be devotees. But this urge to go back to God is not as sharp as it was in the 70s when Prabhupada was there. Because Prabhupada was, almost every letter he is saying, we are going back to God. Back to Godhead. This is our message. There's nothing else. As they have this saying, accept no substitute, meaning accept nothing else except going back to God. Just back to God. So all devotees wanted to go back to God very badly. So they said, if you're going back to God, it means taking sannyas. I want to take sannyas. Nothing, And Prabhupada's reply was clear and concise. So Prabhupada replied, quoting from Bhagavad Gita, he told her that the soul is neither man nor woman. And for those engaged in Krishna service, there is no distinction between man and woman. No difference. Because ultimately the soul is no man, not a woman. Anyone acting for Krishna, he is a sannyasi or sannyasini. Prabhupada used this word sannyasini. I don't know if this is actual proper Sanskrit word, but sannyasini. Spiritually, everyone is equal. But materially, a woman cannot be given sannyas. But you should not be bothered because you are serving on the spiritual platform. So this is interesting here, what Prabhupada was very, very easy at that time for any controversial, this could be nowadays controversial question because we have you can say a little controversy called FDG, female Diksha Guru. Could women be gurus in ISKCON? There's a big discussion, and some part of ISKCON agrees, some part of ISKCON does not agree, because giving various arguments and various reasons, and one particular reason, one of the reasons is that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Dhruva Maharaja's mother, Suniti, instructed Dhruva to go to the forest to find Krishna, she acted as a guru. This is a guru's instruction. Go to the forest, you will find Krishna. Whoever directs us towards Krishna, instruct us as to how to serve Krishna, this person is a guru. But Prabhupada says because she was a woman, she could not officially be his Diksha Guru. She could be a Shiksha Guru, but not a Diksha Guru. So this is one of the reasons the people who do not accept that Matajis can become gurus. On the other hand, there are some other who do agree very strongly that female everybody can be a guru, because Prabhupada wrote some letters, and one of the letters he said, I want that you, all of my boys and girls, soon become gurus and thus deliver the world. So this is also, the other side is there. So this side is presenting very strongly, that in the tradition actually, traditionally there is no such a thing as female guru, and on the other hand, they also present that Prabhupada was a very liberal in the sense that he was not on a bodily platform and not so, this is a Kali Yuga after all, and the most important is the preaching. And for preaching, we require thousands and thousands of these different gurus. Because otherwise, how can movement spread if you don't have so many gurus? But Prabhupada was very clear here. Immediately, he answered the controversy. And he said, yes, they are all on the spiritual platform, but materially, you cannot be given sannyas. And that's it. Finished. The argument finished. Nowadays, we have to have meetings after meeting after meeting after meeting, and the conclusion is not reached. Not reached at all. The Indian, in India, of course, there's a tradition. How can women be a guru? You're breaking the 2,000 years tradition. In the West, they said, yeah, well, we don't care, Prabhupada broke so many traditions when he came to India, to America. First of all, sannyas should or Vedically, sannyas is not allowed to travel outside of Indian continent.
There are types of sannyasis also.
Yes, and different types of sannyasis. And but Prabhupada did all these things, and also Prabhupada gave Brahman initiation to his female disciples, which is also kind of unheard of. So this was all, Prabhupada, you can say, broke some rules. But this was all meant for preaching, to increase the family of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they think, we also want to increase the message of Lord Chaitanya. And how can you increase in the West, at least? In India it's different. India, the traditional role of a woman, of course nowadays everything changed, which is also interesting. But traditional role of a woman sits in home, has children, and cooks, and that's about it. Take care of the house. She's a householder. And the man goes out and fight the demons and swords and bring the money back and maintains the family. But this also has been changed in the last 10-15 years in India. Women become emancipated, as we call it, and become more like Western women. And this will become more and more. Like, for example, I think in next, 20 years, this will become, India will become probably like West. Because it's going really fast. Really, really fast. You're coming fresh from India. So I cannot imagine. Where did you go to school? To Mathura?
No, I first was going for Vrindavan Gurukul.
Gurukul, okay.
And then I went for Mayapur after that.
You went to Mayapur? Okay, so you avoided this.
I shifted.
But your brother went to Mathura to school?
My brother went also in Vrindavan Gurukul.
But he went to Mathura?
No, it's the Gurukul which is there from...
Oh, in the Krishna Balaram, these boys who wear this red?
Yellow clothes.
Yellow, okay. I mean red pullovers. Okay, so but this has been changed. So what to do now? Prabhupada is not here, Prabhupada will just answer my letter. No, we cannot give you sannyas. Haribol, finished. So this is the you can say the beauty of Krishna consciousness, that we have to make these decisions, which are very important decisions. So any decision which is made in Krishna consciousness is a very important decision, should be made in the mode of goodness. It should not be made in the mode of passion. What is the mode of passion? Mode of passion is the situation where we are very attached to get some results, so we can be pleased materially. Mode of ignorance is we are completely making some nonsense decision out of our illusion or ignorance or intoxication. But mode of passion, we should not make decisions in mode of passion. Like if somebody is a long time brahmachari and he said, I want to, get married immediately. So hold on a minute. I like this girl very much. Yes, very nice. Just let's make a decision in mode of goodness. Analyze everything, chant very good rounds, go to India, places of pilgrimage for 1 month and come back, and you see if you feel exactly the same after 1 month of chanting extra, seeing the deities, participating in very ecstatic kirtans. Then when you come back, then you think, do you feel still the same? And then you said, yes, I feel the same. Okay, then this is decision in mode of goodness. Then you discuss, well, how would I make my living? How would I make this situation, that situation? So this is mode of goodness. Mode of passion is like this. Oh, I want to know. This is immediately results. And mode of ignorance is just complete wrong decision. What do you want to say, young man? Huh? Sure.
Like mode of passion. So like when we are thinking of eating before offering.
Yes.
Is it like mode of passion? Because like we want to offer it also to Krishna, but then.
But the saliva is coming
The
here.
mind is thinking, oh, okay, I will eat it after it's offered. So it's still in the mode of passion, or not really.
In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a description of Madhavendra Puri, who saw a pot or kheer offering to sweet rice offered to the Gopinath, and he was thinking, oh, I would really like to try this kheer before it was offered. It was just Pujari was putting it on the altar.
Yes.
And he said, I would like to try this kheer. But his intention was not to eat for himself, but he wanted to try it because he wanted to cook for Gopal in Vrindavan. But still, he felt very remorseful. He said, oh, this is very, very wrong. So it's very, very wrong.
Yeah, so like you unconsciously think of it, but like afterwards you feel like lament that you were thinking of.
Yes, so this is more the passion. We should think, how I want to please Krishna, I'm cooking for Krishna. And then if Krishna is merciful, I will eat this wonderful prasadam because Krishna gave it to me.
Yeah.
But cooking for me, I'm thinking like, ooh, put this spice aside because I like the spice. This is more the passion.
Okay.
So, I know you're not in more the passion, but
Yeah.
good to know. So, Prabhupada complained to his secretaries that he is constantly being bombarded by requests for sannyas from devotees who are not fit to accept such an exalted position. It has become such a problem that he has approved a suggestion by Tamal Krishna Maharaj. From now on, any request for taking sannyas must be accompanied by a recommendation from another sannyasi or GBC. The candidate's request will then be considered at the annual GBC meeting in Mayapur. If accepted, the man will be put on a 1-year waiting list and then initiated the following year. It is hoped that this will shield Srila Prabhupada from being unnecessarily disturbed and help to further qualify the candidates. So nowadays it's a little more complicated to become sannyasi. You have to have a certain age, you have to be at least 40 years old. And at that time it was very easy because in the Gaudiya Math it was very easy. You just go and ask Sannyas Guru, can you give me sannyas? And Sannyas Guru gives you and that's it. There's no institutional anything. That was easy. And but then Tamal Krishna made this because we have institution and everybody writes letter to Prabhupada. I want to take sannyas, It's kind of... Because at that time everybody thought I can make it. They didn't have this idea that sannyasa is a lifelong commitment. You have to lifelong be celibate. That's it.
You're ready to give it up.
Then no more giving up. There's no question.
No, they're ready to give up their material life.
Oh, they're ready to give up. Yes, at that time, very young, very enthusiastic, and they thought we are going back to Godhead. And then when Prabhupada was gone, then suddenly oops, a little bit difficult. So. Nowadays, sannyas is a little more difficult to take, but I think they went to the other side nowadays. They went too hard. It's difficult. They're not encouraging younger devotees to take sannyas. I think there should be somewhere in the middle. There should be young devotees should be encouraged to take sannyas, not young 20, but if somebody is 20, 25 years in the movement, brahmachari, they should be encouraged to take sannyas. I think. But they become a little more difficult now. At the same time also, here we have to become GBC. Prabhupada also told us that he wants the number of GBCs increased to 20 men. More and more, he is referring new plans for preaching, managerial arrangements, and so forth to the GBC for discussion, taking a less active part himself. He wants them to become fully responsible for the management of the society. So the whole point of the GBC, the point of a sannyasi is not, what's happening, Pundarik? The whole point is that to increase the society, to increase the preaching. Why would you take sannyas? To increase the preaching. Not that you, finally I made it, Pundarik is taking sannyas, and now wherever he goes, people offering red carpet, flowers, throwing Shila Gurudev, Pundarik, and he sits there like this, my lotus sweet, please. People bring nice sweets, I don't know, whatever you like, and it's wonderful life, This is not the purpose of sannyas. The purpose of sannyas actually is to go out and preach. Bhakti Bhushana Maharaj told us once that when he took sannyas, he said that he just got one pair of cartels and one-way ticket to Argentina, and he said, go there and preach, no money. It was just with cartels. So he said, this was sannyas in my days, he said.
That's the meaning of sannyas.
Go out there and country is open for you, no money, just do a sannyasi, do it. This was a sannyas. So this is the purpose of sannyas, to increase the preaching, because sannyasi is not supposed to be attached to anything materially, and he has all time in the world just for preaching, nothing else. Nothing else. So this is the sannyas. Okay, anything else? Any other questions about these topics?
In anderen Sampradaya, die geben den Frauen sofort Sannyas, soweit ich weiß, ganz schnell.
Ja. Nicht andere Sampradaya meinst du, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya?
Nee, nicht Gaudiya Vaishnava. Ich meine andere, nicht Gaudiya Vaishnava. Ich habe schon viel gehört. So ganz junge Damen schon Sannyasi gesehen.
Ja, das ist okay, for the video. In other spiritual groups, they give sometimes sannyas very easily. Young girls get sannyas, and I know one particular group from Pune, actually, South India. They give sannyas and sannyasinis, so you can have a boyfriend and girlfriend. Not following the regular principles, they can go and take sannyas, both of them. And I met actually. We were once traveling, and we parked our bus, and one boy, one girl, young, they came to smoke I guess they want to smoke behind the building. And then we start speaking and said, yeah, we belong to this and this group, and we are both sannyasis, So we thought, because they have different concept what sannyasi is. We know the sannyas means the one who actually renounced all material enjoyment altogether. You actually renounced all material world. Indeed, sannyas is considered that you are dead. You don't exist anymore. Taking sannyas means you are civilly dead. Of course, nowadays in the West it's not easy because you have an ID. You must have an ID or whatever. But in India at that time, taking sannyas, nobody is. Even in the 90s, I don't know now, is it still now? In the trains, if you are wearing saffron or sadhu, nobody will ask you for a ticket because you are sadhu. You are dead. You don't exist. So they don't know what sannyas is. But in other sampradayas, for example, in Madhva sampradaya or Ramanuja, Madhva particularly, they give sannyas even to the young boys, but they have to do astrology chart. If there's a strong, I'm not an astrologer, but it's a strong sannyas yoga in the chart, then they'll give. If there isn't, they don't give. That's how Madhvacharya took sannyas when he was 12 years old. 12 years old, imagine, Pundarik, 12 years old. You're already you're 20 now, you're already 8 years sannyasi. But because he had a strong sannyas yoga in his chart, which means renunciation, so that he can do it.
Is it really possible nowadays if you become sannyasi in young age? Not really.
I don't think so.
In Kali Yuga, it's really hard to be proper sannyasi.
Especially now, it becomes more and more. This at that time was also India was, more traditional. Nowadays, with all the modern things, you just go on the street, big advertisement for the movies and half-dressed women, and this is not conducive at all. Not conducive. So, but therefore, preaching, Prabhupada says everybody can do preaching. Grihastas also can do preaching. So there's no whatever works better for the preaching, basically. Whether you take sannyas, kiba vipra, kiba nyasi, shudra kene haya, yei Krishna tataveti, say guru ha. Everybody can be guru. Whether you be a vipra, learned brahmana, kiba vipra, kiba shudra, you can be a shudra, or nyasi, or sannyasi. It doesn't matter who you are. You can, as long as you preach Krishna consciousness, you can become a guru. So this is the message of Lord Chaitanya. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. It's 64, huh? 46. Canto 6, chapter 4, text 46. Tapome hridayam brahmams. Tapome hridayam brahmams. Tanur vidya kriyakritihi. Tanur vidya kriyakritihi. Angani kratavo jata. Angani kratavo jata. Dharma atma savasuraha. Dharma atma savasuraha. Tapome hridayam brahmams. Tanur vidya kriyakriti. Angani kratavo jata. Dharma atma savasuraha.
Angani kratavo jata.
Angani kratavo jata.
Dharma atma savasuraha.
Dharma atma savasuraha. Tapo me hridayam brahma.
Tapo me
Yam brahmams.
Tanur vidya kriyakritaha.
Tanur vidya kriyakritaha.
Angani kratavo jata.
Angani kratavo jata.
Atma svaha sava suras. Atma savasuraha.
Dharma atma savasuraha.
Tapo me hridayam brahma.
Tapome hridayam brahmams.
Tanur vidya kriyakriti.
Tanur vidya kriyakriti.
Angani kratavo jata.
Angani kratavo jata.
Dharma atma savasuraha.
Dharma atma savasuraha. Tapome hridayam brahmams.
Tanur vidya kriyakriti.
Angani kratavo jata.
Dharma atma savasuraha.
Tapo me hridayam brahma.
Tanur vidya kriyakriti.
Angani kratavo jata.
Tapaha. Austerity is like mental control, mystic yoga, and meditation.
Austerity is like mental control, mystic yoga, and meditation.
Me, my. Hridayam, heart. Brahman, O Brahmana. Tanuhu, the body. Vidya, the knowledge derived from Vedic scripture.
knowledge derived from Vedic scripture.
Kriya,
Kriya,
spiritual activities.
spiritual activities.
Akriti,
Akriti,
form.
form.
Angani,
Angani,
the limbs of the body.
the limbs of the body.
Kratavaha,
Pratavaha,
the ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices mentioned in the Vedic literature.
ritualistic ceremonies
And sacrifices mentioned in the Vedic literature.
Jataha,
Jataha,
completed.
completed.
Dharmaha,
Dharmaha,
the religious principles for executing the ritualistic ceremonies.
The religious principles for executing the ritualistic ceremonies.
Atma,
Atma,
my soul.
my soul.
Asavaha,
Asavaha,
life heirs.
life heirs.
Suraha,
Suraha,
the demigods
the demigods
who execute my orders
who execute my orders
in different departments of the material world.
in different departments of the material world.
My dear Brahmana, austerity in the form of meditation is my heart. Vedic knowledge in the form of hymns and mantras constitutes my body, and spiritual activities and ecstatic emotions are my actual form. The ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, when properly conducted, are the various limbs of my body. The unseen good fortune proceeding from pious or spiritual activities constitutes my mind, and the demigods who execute my orders in various departments are my life and soul. This is a bit Krishna speaks, and a little bit more difficult. It's more poetic expression. So basically, his heart is the Brahmana, the austerities. The austerities done in meditation. This is the heart of Krishna. This is when someone does meditation. Then Vedic knowledge and all these hymns and mantras, we know that all these different prayers and so forth. These are considered body of the Lord. And emotions, spiritual emotions, we had yesterday, talking about Nityananda, Lord Nityananda, spiritual emotions. This is the form of the Lord. So we have a heart, we have the body and the form. The ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices are the limbs, arms and legs of the Lord. Sacrifices, yagyas. And then there's an unseen good fortune proceeding. So when you do pious activities, something spiritually, we get some benefits for it. So these benefits are actually mind of the Lord. And the demigods who do orders of Krishna, who execute the order of Krishna, they consider life and soul of Krishna. So this is what poetically Krishna narrates about himself. Purport. Sometimes atheists argue that since God is invisible to their eyes, they do not believe in God. For them, the Supreme Lord is describing a method by which one can see God in his impersonal form. So Krishna tries to present somehow, okay, if you cannot see this, you can see this. You can always think in this way. Like for example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, of all the fishes, aquatics, I am the shark. So when you look at YouTube or you look at Facebook and you see shark has eaten somebody, on the beach in Florida, you think, wow, Krishna is the shark. Of course, not that Krishna has eaten this person, but we merely remember Krishna. Of all the mountains, I am Sumeru, of the different, of the purifier, I am the of all the purifiers, I am the wind, Krishna says. So when we go out on the street and wind blows, everything, oh, this is Krishna. Because Krishna says, of all the purifiers, he is the wind. So this is how Krishna is training us to start seeing him as a person in an apparently impersonal material world. So this is also the same thing. When somebody sees, oh, I'm doing some meditation, or we say, oh, this is actually heart of Krishna. When somebody meditates, and so on and so forth. Confirmed. Intelligent persons can see God in his personal form, as stated in the Shastra. But if one is very eager to see the Supreme Godhead immediately, face to face, he can see the Supreme Lord through this description, which portrays the various internal and external parts of his body. To engage in tapasya, or denial of material activities, is the first principle of spiritual life. So this is interesting here. First principle is to give up unwanted things, anarthas, give up unwanted things. As I was speaking yesterday, you cannot drink beer and chant Hare Krishna, and I think you can make progress. Of course, the progress is there, because you chant Hare Krishna. But we have to give up something, and this is the first step in actually making progress in spiritual life. So when we come to the temple for the first time, what is the first thing we learn? No intoxication, no meat eating. Devotees will ask you, are you eating meat? I say, I still eat. You should give it up. So you give it up, but this is like the first step. I actually gave up something for Krishna. I did something for Krishna. Sacrificing can be so many things, and it says here, if one wants to see face to face, is denial, engage of tapasya, or denial of material activities is the first principle of spiritual life. So we deny our enjoyment sitting in our house, and instead of sitting in our house in comfort, we come to the temple. This is also denial. Pundarik here sacrificed his morning. He could have nicely watched something or play a video game, but he says, no, I am coming to the temple. I want to see the Lord Nityananda. So this is you deny your, something material for the sake of Krishna, and this is the first step. Of course, later on, the ultimate denial is when we promise in front of our spiritual master, in front of the fire, at the time of our initiation, I want to the rest of my life, follow the 4 regulative principles, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. And this is the very big denial. It's a huge denial that you promise the rest of your life. You think like, oh my God, I promised. How can I do this? But you promised. So this is the big denial. Next. Then there are spiritual activities such as the performance of Vedic, ritualistic sacrifices, study of the Vedic knowledge, meditation upon the Supreme Godhead, and chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. One should also respect the demigods and understand how they are situated, how they act, and how they manage the activities of the various departments of this material world. In this way, one can see how God is existing, how everything is managed perfectly. In this way, one can see how God is existing and how everything is managed perfectly because of the presence of the Supreme Lord. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 9:10, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kontaya Jagat Viparivartate. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and non-moving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. If one is unable to see the Supreme Lord, although he is present as Krishna in his various incarnations, one may see the Supreme Lord's impersonal feature according to the directions of the Vedas by seeing the activities of material nature. So we see how the material world works, and then we see Krishna. And we think, oh, Krishna doesn't want us to go on Harinam today. It's raining. This is how we see Krishna. Whatever the situation is. Like for example, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Duryodhana was insulting Vidura, so material nature is creating such a situation, he said, get out of this house. Kicked him out of the palace. So Vidura thought, okay, this is Krishna, wants me to be more renounced. Krishna wants me to go to see different places of pilgrimage. This is how devotee sees the action of Krishna. Devotees doesn't think like, oh, this person, kill him now. He thinks, it's Krishna's arrangement. Krishna arranged this. In so many different situations, Krishna arranged certain things. Sometimes they're pleasant, sometimes they're unpleasant, but we should always think that this is all Krishna. Because Ashlisya va padaratam pinastamam adarshana marmahtam karotuva yatha tatha va vivadata lampato. And now the punchline, mat prana natastu seva napara. Mat prana means you are my life air. In any circumstance, whether you reject me, whether you accept me, you're always my worshipable Lord. Mat prana. Prana means life air. Because without life air we cannot live. That's as simple as that. So this is Krishna, this is what Krishna should be for us. Prana. Mat prana. My own prana, life air. Next. Anything done.
We did.
What? No. Anything done under the direction of Vedic injunctions. Oh, you're reading this, okay. Anything done under the direction of the Vedic injunctions is called dharma, as described by the order carriers of Yamaraj, 6.140. Veda pranihito dharmo, hyadharma stat viparyayaha, vedo narayana sakshat svayambur iti shushruma. That which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes dharma, the religious principles, and the opposite of that is irreligion. The Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, and are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj. In this connection, Srila Madhvacharya comments, Tapo bimani rudrastu, Vishnur hridayam ashrita, vidyarupa dataivoma, Vishnu stanam upashrita, Shringaradya kritigataha, Kriyatma paka shasanaha, Agneshu kratava sarve, Madhya dehe chedalmarat, Prano vayus chitta gato, Brahmadaya sveshu devata. The various demigods are all acting under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and according to their various actions, the demigods are differently named. We have a Vayu, we have a Durga, we have a Kuvera, different kinds of demigods, and they all have different duties. The demigods are actually servants of the Lord. They are the institutional bureaucrats. They actually, somebody's conducting rain, just like we have it here. Water department, for the city of Köln. Somebody works in the water department. Somebody works in the air quality. Somebody works in the, chemtrail department, There are different departments. So everybody works in a different department, and each person has a responsibility. So, what is interesting to me here is this from the Bhagavatam 6.140. That which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes the Dharma, and the opposite of that is irreligion. So we cannot abandon the Vedas, and think like, this is for the other ages. Sorry?
This is nonsense.
No, nonsense, this is some old books, I don't care. This is not, Prabhupada didn't say this. Indeed, Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality of God in Narayan, not different from Narayan. Meaning, if whatever is prescribed in the Vedas that we cannot so easily abandon. In our Krishna consciousness, sometimes, in the West particularly, we are very quickly ready to abandon, this is some Indian thing, abandon it. But we should actually, again, this is mode of passion. We should not make decisions in the mode of passion. We should make decisions in the mode of goodness. And see, actually, what Vedas are prescribed, that we should try to actually apply it in our lives. We cannot think, it's Kali Yuga, all the barriers are broken, we can do whatever we want. Yes, you can do whatever you want, but then you become material society again. And so Vedas should always be followed. The instructions of the Vedas should always be followed. But with the connection by the instruction of the spiritual master. And therefore we have a very easy here, just like babies, do you give a big piece of bread to the babies? No, everything is pasiyat, how you call it? Blended. Babies just eat blended food, because they don't really have a teeth, it's just like, So we also in Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada not just condensed, but made it so easy for us to like blend it. Our Vedas are blended for us, so we can just very easily eat it, understand very easily. Because the Vedas is not easy to understand. Even in India, there's so much confusion going on, so much. Ask anybody. I was reading some years ago, introduction to the yoga book of one famous yoga teacher. And I was thinking, man, this man has no idea what he's talking about. He talks all the right words, karma, yoga, guru. But here, if you actually analyze it, he has no idea what is he talking about. Because it's all mixed up. Is God personal or is not personal? Is there a God or not? He supposedly believes in God, but he doesn't exactly know what God is. And it's a very confusion. And I think that most of the people in India are like this, confused. We have a few schools like Madhva, Ramanuja, Advaita, the Sringeri Math, whatever, the South India. And these are the few schools who actually have an idea. But the rest, I think there's just confusion, huge confusion. Who is the Supreme? Are we merging or not merging? Or is this a person or not person? Or they worship Lord Ram, but they want to merge into Lord Ram. This is so weird. Imagine, you want to...
Avatar, is the avatar?
Yeah, but you worship, you want to marry somebody, so I want to merge to become one with you. It's so weird. So they want to worship Lord Ram as a person, but they want to merge into the person. Okay.
It's possible for them.
How would Lord Ram feel about this? Okay, thank you. I mean, okay, you can merge into me, nice. They become one with me. So weird.
You become like a Lord.
So there are all kinds of confusion. So therefore we follow the Vedas directed by our spiritual master, Acharya Prabhupada. And Prabhupada make it very easy, very simple. Alles ist einfach. Everything is easy to read, easy to understand. Some little things and this and that, like some controversy may come from time to time, but this is very insignificant, very, very insignificant. So we should stick to our Guru, our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and everything will be easy to understand. Everything will be easy to understand. Okay, I think this is it for today. We had a hard day yesterday, a festival, fasting, and service and kirtan, and late at night, and big 2 cakes. On the end, as feast was not enough, so we had the cakes as a brick. Somebody hits you with a brick, you eat 2 pieces of cake, and then that's it. This is a very big tapasya in Krishna conscious movement. Eating tapasya.
I still have the cake. I ate cake and I brought for myself. It's still in the fridge. I didn't eat because I was so full that I wanted to bring some prasad.
So,
cake is there from yesterday.
Jai, cakes ki jai, Hare Krishna. Should we close the day or something else too? Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo.